It was a gun.
I'm not voting.
If we want to build our nation.
The problem with the Somalians.
Just want to experience something else than a black man.
Move on, move
Can't be like
forward.
a horse with blinkers on.
Honestly say, I was about to have
Corrupt
sex and then I pulled
crap,
up.
but it's nice.
Hi, my name is Lishai Karosa. I'm an editor for Street Talk TV. I'm from Cape Town and 22 years of age.
My name is Ntobikai Sevengu. I am the co-founder of the Mentees ARC, and I am 27 years of age.
My name is Pakisoma Soa, and I am the co-founder and director of the Mentees ARC, and I am 24 years of age. Yeah.
My name is Dineo Baloi. I am the founder and campus of the Dineo Foundation. I am 30 years old.
So I went to a school which had poor teacher attendance, poor infrastructure, and so I always longed for a better education. So luckily I worked hard and managed to get into UCT. So when I finished my degree at UCT, I wanted to show the learners from my school and from the community that I come from that it's possible. Yeah, so that's my personal story. My mom is the mother of 6, so she couldn't afford to take me to a better school. So there are a lot of learners and a lot of who long for better education, right? But sadly, their parents cannot afford it. So they need to work with whatever they have. So that's why we started the Mentees ARC, to prove that even though they're in those communities, even though their parents cannot afford better education, they can still do well and still succeed. Their situation does not have to define who they are, or does not have to determine where they end up in life. They can be anything that they want to be, as long as they are determined, yeah.
If we start these learners at an early age, we'll be able to get more high school learners who pass in matric. We don't focus only in high school learners. We want to walk through with these learners through their journey. We want to start with them at an early stage. We want to monitor their progress very early.
Yeah.
Okay. And with that, underneath the career planning and actioning, what we also do is we monitor their progress on a quarterly basis. With monitoring their progress on a quarterly basis, we are able to see, to even find out the learners who maybe they are failing because they cannot see, they're struggling with hearing, they can't read at all. So for those who are doing well, we offer the incentives. With incentives, it's a form of making sure that learners must work hard in the next run. They know that if I do well this quarter, I'll be able to get an incentive in the next quarter by working hard.
Last year, 2019, public school bachelor's percentage, it was 44.5%, whilst the private school was 99%. So we could see every year throughout, since 2016, we could see the gap between private and public school education. So that's why we started the Mentees ARC, to eradicate this, actually kind of build a bridge between private school and public school education, so that equal education should be accessible for everyone in this country. Yeah.
The most challenging part will be introducing ourselves at schools, building that relationship with principal and teachers, getting them to believe in us, to trust us, and getting them to give us time. To give us time in their schedule. It's always hard. And I believe this year, since the global pandemic, it has been extremely, extremely hard.
When we go to schools, we look young, right?
Yeah.
And when you look young, people usually take you for granted. So the teachers and the principals, it's very hard for them to work with us. So it's either they just agree and then they just leave us, and then they don't really follow up. Even if we want their opinion and stuff, they're not really interested. And also working with parents. So most parents think that I'll leave the child to you and then you'll do all the magic. And it doesn't work like that. As said, the learners are usually at their parents' place, right? At home mostly, right? So when they're home, they also need the motivation from their parents. So working with teachers and parents has been the hardest thing, because you can change the mindset of the learner, but they have the influence from the teachers and also from their parents. So you need to work with parents and also the teachers in order to achieve a common goal. And that has been the hardest thing.
Like everyone, when you start something, I think Ntombi has said where she comes from, her background. We all need to build our personal brand, because I believe you cannot stand in front of learners, try to convince them to do something that you fail to do and you're still failing to do it.
I agree totally with Dineo. So every time when we went to schools, it's always like a hassle to get them to trust in us and give us the opportunity to actually showcase what we're actually capable of. So the best thing is to be the best version of yourself, right? So that it becomes an example to other people. The same thing with the learners. The learners want to see who you actually are before they can get to hear what you want to say. So you need to be the best version of yourself so that they can be the best version of themselves, because you're acting as an example to them, and then, which is quite easy. Yeah, I think it's the stigma around it. It becomes mentally, psychologically, automatically becomes easier for them to listen to you. So yeah, it's actually going to schools, getting them to give us the opportunity, and also most importantly is actually changing the mindsets of these learners, because they from an environment where it's full of drugs, crime, and all that. So and poverty, which is the main one. So and poverty causes crime and drugs, right? So it's actually getting them to understand and ignite the personal dreams that they have. And as part of that, we have an initiative called the Take a Kasi Kid to a Graduation Ceremony, where a graduate from any university gets to inspire a Kasi kid by donating a ticket to their graduation ceremony and taking them with, so that they can experience that environment of being in a graduation ceremony, and also maybe it can spark something in themselves so that they can dream bigger than where they are.
Before establishing the foundation, I used to do this on my personal capacity, and then later on registered the foundation. Okay. The foundation is still struggling to get funding, right? But when I think about this and when I sit down and think about this, I challenge myself with few questions. Do we really know how to write proposals? How do we differentiate ourselves from other organizations that do similar things? Can we be trusted? Do we not rely only on photos from the projects? Do we not feel entitled for the support? Like every time when I encounter challenges, I always come back and ask myself these questions. Am I standing out? Because each and every business that gets a proposal, you need to present yourself in such a way that you are able to stand out.
It has been a struggle. It has been a struggle to find companies that can sponsor us. Even this year, we've put a lot of proposals to companies to fund our WhatsApp classes, because during the pandemic, no one was going to school, right? So we came up with an innovative way to study via WhatsApp. And it has proved to be very impactful. And we host like 80 learners. So we thought, okay, we have the learners, we seem to making an impact. So let's get companies to actually fund us, maybe provide data for us, something like that, or Wi-Fi. Still, it has been a struggle because maybe we don't know how to write proposals and all this. So as Dineo said, what we relied on was to go around and ask for donations everywhere, malls, in the streets, even applying, even helping these learners apply. We would go to a hotspot, Wi-Fi hotspot area, so that they can apply with their cell phones and all that. So even if it was cold, we would go, so that the dream keeps on going.
What he forgot to mention, that in 2017 we bought sweets, right? And then the learners sold those sweets, and then that money we saved it, and then we managed to go to different universities so that they could see, because they could get even more motivated and say, oh, I want to go to this university. And then we also went to an open day at UP with that money. So from Soweto to UP. So we managed to save quite a lot. And some people donated money. So, and from that year, all of our learners passed with the bachelor pass. And one of them actually joined us to be a director. So, yeah, so as much as there were a lot of problems with funding, I think it's a matter of just being innovative and trying to find ways to raise money, because relying on companies to fund us, it seemed like it wouldn't work that much.
Everything needs hard work. And without hard work, we'll never achieve anything. Without listening to that inner voice, we'll never achieve anything.
There'll be people who will tell you that you can't, right? There might be no one who tells you that you can, and it's up to you. So when you have that inner voice, when you have that inner motivation, I think you can do anything that you put your mind to.
I'm driven by this quote, and then I think it will go with igniting that power within. Yeah? One of the greatest things you can do to help others is not just to share and give what you have, but to help them discover what they have within themselves to help themselves.
My dream is for South Africans to have a better education.
My dream is to live in a South Africa where each and every child has access to quality education, and where education does not depend on class.
My dream is to spark the inner voice and actually focus on the learner's abilities than what they don't know.
My dream is to touch and transform lives.
Yazi, you should ever sit and talk with people, or else take a walk and create a straight talk. Talk what is nice, it will make you feel stronger. Listen what is right and say what is wrong. You should ever sit and talk with people, or else take a walk and create a straight talk. Talk what is nice, it will make you feel stronger. Listen what is right and say what is wrong.